When Greta Garbo arrived in Hollywood in 1924, she was a frightened 19-year-old Swedish girl who didn't speak English. When she vanished from the screen 16 years and 24 movies later, she was a goddess, the most glamorous, mysterious movie star in the world.
Someday, when I'm awfully low, when the world is cold, I will feel a glow just thinking of you and the way you look tonight.
Hello. I'm Glenn Close here on the Broadway set of Grand Hotel, where the legend and the mystery of Greta Garbo lingers on. For 50 years, Garbo has hidden from the world, demanding to be left alone. And the more she withdrew, the greater her myth grew. What is it about that fabulous face that fascinates generation after generation of moviegoers? Her Grand Hotel co-star, John Barrymore, said, "Garbo has only to flash on screen to seize our attention. Her brilliance dispels our dullness. It isn't acting. It is something that holds us in its spell. A kind of magic. That magic is Garbo."
Lovely, never, never change. Keep that breathless charm. Won't you please arrange it, 'cause I love you just the way you look tonight. Just the way you look tonight.
She was born Greta Lovisa Gustafsson in Stockholm on September 18, 1905, the third child of Carl Alfred and Anna Gustafsson. The family grew up in poverty. She was a shy child, given to daydreaming and fantasies about the theater. Carl Alfred died when Greta was 14, and she went to work in a local barber shop, lathering men's faces. In a reference to her childhood, she said, "I can't remember being young, really young, like other children." She made her first mark on the public, modeling hats for a department store advertisement, then demonstrating how not to dress in a commercial. And sampling pastries in a bakery advertisement. Greta was offered a small part in the silent film comedy Peter the Tramp. The plump, bathing beauty bore little resemblance to the elegant femme fatale of Hollywood legend. Greta won a scholarship at the Academy of Royal Dramatic Theatre. Shy and embarrassed by her lack of education, she stood apart from the wealthy, sophisticated girls in her class. She never finished her training. In 1923, the 17-year-old drama student caught the eye of the legendary silent film director Moritz Stiller, who intuitively sensed something extraordinary in her. The flamboyant, egotistical Stiller was determined to mold the unformed Greta into the screen's perfect woman. She was eager to play Trilby to his Svengali. He set about to make her over, insisting she lose 20 pounds. He taught her how to dress, what to think, how to act in society. And he gave her a new name, Greta Garbo. In Stiller's The Saga of Gösta Berling, Garbo played a countess who falls in love with a defrocked minister. There are only glimmers of the Garbo magic in her tentative performance, but Stiller's faith never wavered. Many thought Stiller and his protege were lovers. Those who knew of his homosexuality doubted it. Their next project together collapsed, and they found themselves in Berlin. There, Garbo landed her second major role in director G.W. Pabst's expressionist The Streets of Sorrow, a grim depiction of innocent young girls who are forced into lives of prostitution. The legendary MGM mogul Louis B. Mayer was also in Berlin on a European talent search. He had come to sign up Stiller, but Stiller would agree to come to Hollywood only if the studio gave Garbo a contract as well. Mayer agreed to sign her up for $400 a week and quipped, "Tell her that in America, men don't like fat women." On the 6th of July, 1925, Stiller and Garbo landed in New York. A minor MGM publicist and a freelance photographer were all the welcoming committee they found. America had other things on its mind. Months later, they arrived in Hollywood, welcomed with flowers. The local press was not impressed. They made fun of the naive, awkward Swedish girl. She looked like a peasant next to the reigning stars of the day. Lillian Gish, Gloria Swanson, Norma Shearer, and Clara Bow. MGM in the 20s was a powerful and efficient dream factory, run by Louis B. Mayer, a proud, strict patriarch. Garbo, like all his contract players, was expected to behave like an obedient child. But at first, the studio didn't know what to do with her. They posed her on a track field surrounded by athletes, selling Garbo as a sporty, outdoorsy girl. They plucked her eyebrows and capped her teeth and tamed her frizzy hair. And then they gave her a screen test supervised by Stiller. When director Montabell saw it, he knew he'd found the girl to star in his new movie, The Torrent. Cast opposite Ricardo Cortez, Garbo played a Spanish peasant girl in love with an aristocrat whose mother forbids him to marry her. In Paris, she becomes the famous opera star. It was a silly melodrama, but it set the pattern for her future roles. Like all Garbo movies, it was a love story. Like most of them, it ends tragically. "This girl has everything," wrote Variety when The Torrent appeared. The studio hurried to capitalize on the growing enthusiasm for their Swedish discovery. In The Temptress, which Stiller was assigned to direct, she would be playing her first full-fledged vamp. Men fight and die to claim her. But Garbo's vamps are always capable of one great love that redeems them. The Temptress was a public triumph for Garbo, amidst personal tragedy. On the 4th day of shooting, she received news of the death of her 22-year-old sister, Alva. After just 10 days of filming, Stiller was fired from the picture. Worried about her fallen idol, doubting her talent, homesick, Garbo wrote somber letters back to a friend in Sweden. "I have become afraid of life. It is as if somebody cut away a piece from my inside. I'm so sick and tired of everything. All I want to do is run away." The unhappy Garbo had become a certified sex goddess, but she had yet to find a co-star of equal erotic charge. Then MGM paired her with its most popular leading man, John Gilbert, the great lover. The movie was Flesh and the Devil, and the sparks that flew between the 29-year-old Gilbert and the 21-year-old Garbo set a new standard for screen passion. In her trademark dominant position in love scenes, Garbo seemed to devour Gilbert with her kisses. She turned the sipping of a communion cup into a profane innuendo. A tryst in a garden into an erotic light show. Off-screen, Gilbert and Garbo fall in love.